Alright, welcome back to the F1 2021 mod on Motorsport Manager. This is going to be Season 2, Race 1, Dubai. But before we get there, I've got to pick our suppliers and manufacturers for each and every part of our car. And I thought you guys might want to see my thought process through it. We've got quite a bit of money, we've got 90 million to spend. But we've got to make sure we're spending it in the right areas to make sure this car is as strong as it can be for next season. So, with engine, straight away I'm looking at getting rid of Cosworth, Audi, BMW, Porsche and Honda. So those 5 are out, Renault as well. Which gives me then the possibility of Gibson, who've got strong fuel efficiency, but the improvability is medium. Ferrari and Mercedes. Well, let's be honest, we're probably going to end up being a Ferrari or Mercedes based car. Now, in real life, Williams are Mercedes based, and I think that's what we're gonna do on here. I think we're gonna go Mercedes based. We've got a Mercedes Academy driver in George Russell. It makes sense. So we are gonna have a Mercedes engine. Now in terms of fuel, this one is probably a little easier to pick from. Yeah, I think we'll probably end up with Petronas or BP. Probably BP. It's very weak though for improvability. We're going to go BP. So BP is going to be our fuel supply just to save a little bit of money. Material supplier, we only have 2 choices. We can either choose Williams, who are very weak and very weak, or Dallara, who are strong, but they're very weak on tyre heating. Now, I personally, tyre wear was an issue last season, so I'm actually going to go for Dallara. I think it'll improve us and give us that more options in terms of strategy and going longer, and I won't have to have them defending as much. Brake supplier, so we go through that one now. I think we're possibly looking at Endless. It's a little cheaper, so I think we're going to go Endless on that one. And then battery supplier. Now this is something I've never had to pick before, so this should be I've actually got to take a little bit of time over. Honda RS, Toyota Hybrid, Morelli is one that I'm looking at, and I think that's the one I'm going to go for. So if I go for Morelli, that means the car on the whole is going to cost 68 and just over $500,000. Now if we go for last season's suppliers, in terms of engine, it was Mercedes anyway, so we're going the exact same place there. It was a Petrobras for fuel supplier. The chassis materials was Williams, which we are obviously changing, so fuel and chassis are changing. Brake supplier, we are changing. And battery, so the battery last season, I didn't have a problem with the battery, you know. No, we are going to go Morelli. We're going to go with Morelli. That's what we're going to do. So if we continue with that, yep, 68 million, I'm happy. And that leaves us with now 21 million. We have had an issue, and something I've noticed, and it's got me a little bit worried. If we go into, oh no, we can't go into the car, unfortunately. But the engines we've made and the gearbox we've made, there is a medium risk it is gonna break the rules. So ultimately, if I'm going to give it to anyone, it'll probably be to Latifi for the first race, and if it doesn't break the rules, it will go into Russell's car. But I'm pretty sure if it's got a medium risk of breaking the rules, it's probably going to break the rules, and that is a worry. That is a worry. But either way, I just wanted to show you that because I thought it'd be interesting for you guys to see my thought process and see what we're changing in the car for the new season to hopefully give us that bit of a boost up the ranking, so we can at least get that fourth, and if we're lucky, maybe challenge for a third. Who knows? I'll see you guys in Dubai, where hopefully I'll have some more news about the car, and hopefully we'll have a good race weekend to start the new season. I'll catch you there. Alright guys, so welcome to Dubai. We just got a 9th and a 10th in our first practice session of the new season, filling me with confidence after what was a poor pre-season testing, if I'm going to be honest. We've learned quite a lot about the setup and what these lads are going to want to be using, and we've put a lot of time and effort into getting as good a level as we can for all of our perks. Latifi, I cannot for the life of me work out what he wants in terms of his setup. George, we managed to get it a bit closer, but with Latifi, I just cannot work out what the lad wants, and hopefully with these boxes being a little bit smaller, we'll be able to find that gap for him, and he will obviously be going out on there. And then with George, again, it's a very similar thing. I'm not entirely sure where he wants it. We all know George is someone who does work hard, and we're going to go with that. Hopefully that will give him exactly what he needs to put a proper stamp on this qualifying, as we are going to take Q1. Again, looking like this, it might just be one shot qualifying potentially. Maybe there was something that was agreed last season that I didn't pay attention to. Just maybe. Put it on to 2 so we can get around, because there's not a drop zone. So this could make things a little more dramatic, that is for sure. So there's Latifi. Now we will send out George, and he too will work hard. Fingers crossed, set a lap time. That's going to put us in a position where we're going to be starting quite nice, quite high. Perfect on the tyres now. If he can use that Red Bull for a bit of a tow, that would not be bad, in all fairness, and he has used him a little bit, I feel. He's using him a hell of a lot for that tow. He's 6 tenths down though, which isn't great. Latifi's 1.5 down overall. The Mercs just look like beasts, and in the end Russell puts himself third. That is insanely fast from George Russell. Insanely fast. But Hamilton looks like a beast from another planet at the moment. That is insane lap time from him. 4 attempts ahead of anybody else. Nicholas Latifi is all okay for him now. I'm not going to bother because that's the best it's been all weekend. And he will now go out and he will try, because I don't think there's it's a three-piece qualifying. I think it's just one qualifying session. I think that is what we've got here. I think that might have been a vote last season that necessarily I may not have been a part of, or if I was, I voted against. I would have voted against that because I do like the idea of having the three-part qualifying. But here we are, Latifi's 8 tenths down. He's going quicker, but he is down by quite a way. I don't think he's going to improve in terms of his position. And indeed he doesn't. He improves on his time, but not his position. And George is going to head back out now. George, whose speed balance wasn't improved. So his handling, which was better, I think it was slightly this way. And his speed, which was better, this way. We're going to put him on some new softs, super softs, and we will send him out. This could be a big lap. If George can go big, this could be a big lap. Aston Martin seem to have found something. Haas got relegated from F1, and UNI are the team that came up. That's why there's Drugovic and Zhao currently in here. Hulkenberg has replaced Lance Stroll at Aston Martin, so even Lance Stroll's own father got sick of him and has sacked him. And Nico Hulkenberg. Now, I won't lie, there are two drivers that I've been tempted. I haven't even tried to negotiate with Lance Stroll. That is not something that I've even tried. However, there were extensive negotiations with Mick Schumacher at one point, because I was gutted to think that the Schumacher name was no longer in F1. His demands meant that weren't happening, so we have stuck with Russell and Latifi, and because of how cheap they are, that's probably what we're going to do. We're probably going to stick with them. Yeah, Russell doesn't improve. We'll see what happens now. Is that it? Is that qualifying done? Because there is no cut-off point that I can see, and Latifi is going to start 15th if that is the case. Yeah, pole position. It is just one round for qualifying now. So George Russell is going to start on 4th in the grid. It does mean, though, it opens the strategy up a little bit. We haven't got to worry so much, because George won't be starting on the super softs, and if he is, he won't be starting on those super softs. We've got to think strategically, what are we going to do for this Dubai race? Latifi's easy. Latifi's going long. That's easy done. Latifi's going long. Do I start George on some super softs to get a decent start, and then maybe look towards something else? Maybe. There's 35 laps. If we have a quick look, so 35 laps, you'll get 13 out of them and about 20 out of them. I think we go for a one stop. I think we go for a one stop and we go soft to medium for George. So yeah, one stop, soft to medium, so we'll change that to soft, confirm that. He'll go on mediums, will Latifi. And then, yeah, that's what we're going to go with. We're going to put the driving style up to push just for the start. Same with the fuel burn, just up just for the first few corners. And here is your grid for the first Grand Prix of the season in Dubai. It's Lewis Hamilton on pole, from Sebastian Vettel in second, Max Verstappen third, George Russell will start fourth, Sergio Perez is fifth alongside Valtteri Bottas in sixth. Carlos Sainz starts seventh, and Nico Hulkenberg back in F1 in Aston Martin in eighth. Felipe Drugovich starts ninth, and Charles Leclerc starts 10th. Fernando Alonso will start 11th alongside Daniel Ricciardo in 12th. Pierre Gasly is 13th and Lando Norris is 14th. Nicholas Latifi starts 15th and Yuki Tsunoda, also on medium tyres, is 16th. Antonio Giovinazzi is 17th. Kimi Raikkonen is 18th. Esteban Ocon in a very disappointing 19th, and Guan Yu Zhou starts 20th. Let's get down. It's time for lights out shortly. Can George have a decent start off the line? No, he's bogged down, but he's getting his place back, and he's got another one. Can he get down the inside here of Hamilton? Yes, he can, and he's up against Vettel now. Can he get past Vettel for the lead of the Grand Prix? He's tried, but Vettel's blocked it off, and Hamilton will now come back through. Oh no, it's Bottas! Jesus Christ! But George has now got back past Bottas, and Latifi is currently sitting in 18th place. So here we go. At the start of the Grand Prix, we'll speed it up a little bit. George is in 3rd, and what can he do? He's going to get back up to 2nd place. Can he get into 1st here? He's side by side with Sebastian Vettel. No, Vettel defends, go down the inside. George Russell takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Fantastic. Sainz is flying as well. All these cars on super softs, and right now George Russell leads us away. He leads the Grand Prix, but those faster tyres will surely prove too much. There's an absolute cluster of cars behind George waiting for an opportunity to get past. Sure, they will get past at some point, but George will just keep going as things stand. He leads the Grand Prix. Max Verstappen is right behind him, using his ERS now to try and get past, but he's blocked him off well as George. He's blocked him off really well, and he'll use a bit of his ERS to try and pull away himself now. Max, once again, is there, and he's just sat there saying, look, I want to get past. I intend to get past. And Max Verstappen will go here, and he will get past. And Lewis Hamilton will be next. Will he get past? Yes, he will. And George is starting to go backwards against these super soft tyres. There is no way that these drivers are going to the end though on these super softs. It's almost, well, I say at the end, I mean one stopping on these super softs, it's almost impossible. So the fact that they're going means they've just got to build a lead up. They've got to do what they can to build up a lead, because they won't do a one stop, whereas George is aiming for a one stop, and he will get past Vettel now. He's in 5th place. Nicholas Latifi is currently 17th place. Vettel looking to get back past, and now with George we're going to put him on conserve, and we're going to do the same to Latifi. Let's make these tyres last, boys. Nico Hülkenberg is up, and he's going to get past George here. Nico Hülkenberg is up into 5th, and that is someone who is probably on a direct strategy just like George here. So that is for position overall. That's worrying. That is a little worrying, and George now will use his ERS to try and close back up on Nico Hülkenberg, and he is right behind him. Can he get past? No, he can't. And Nicholas Latifi has managed to get himself now up. He's in 14th place. That's with Alonso and Norris in the pit though. They will be trying to go to the end on those tyres. I don't think they can from this sort of area, if I'm going to be 100% honest. So George up behind Nico. Can he get past him? That'll be interesting. The first pitter from the lead, which is Sainz, he won't be able to go to the end, surely. Vettel will be pitting this lap. Pierre Gasly is then behind him. Charles Leclerc, I'm guessing, will also pit this lap. I'd be surprised if he didn't, and he does. And does Leclerc? No, Leclerc doesn't. Leclerc and Perez are staying out on really worn softs. So George inherits 2nd place. But Nico Hülkenberg is really flying. And there's Latifi. He's running in 12th at the moment. He's up to 7th. But Nico Hülkenberg is flying away. Absolutely flying. Now we need to make these lap of Russell's last another couple of laps realistically. To be able to go to the end, we need to make them last another couple. Pierre Gasly's right behind him, and he's using the RS. He'll probably get past now. He hasn't. George has kept him behind, and he just keeps going, as you'd expect him to. We'll use our ERS now to try and just get a little bit of a gap going. And all in all, it's not going too badly for us. His tyres aren't dead to the point where you're sat there worrying about them. Not by a long stretch are they dead to the point where we're worrying about them. So he comes through here, and I think this is the lap where we're going to pit him onto those mediums, where he will then hopefully be able to go to the end. That's the plan anyway. So as he goes around this pit, we'll use the RS to try and pull away from Pierre Gasly, and then Latifi will become the main aim for us. He'll be the main driver. And there we go, George is in the pits. It's a perfect pit stop for him. Where does he come out? Who behind? He is just behind Carlos Sainz, and now he will use ERS to hopefully get past Carlos Sainz. He's right behind him. He's not getting past him. Not with this ERS. He's right behind, but he can't get past. And now we've got to focus on Latifi for a split second, who's got Bottas literally right up his arse here. And he's trying to just defend. He's eking these tyres out, stretching them, trying to get them as far as he can, hopefully looking to get them to about lap 20 as Nicholas Latifi crosses the line in second place. George Russell is still there in 12th as things stand. He's lost Sainz a little bit. Carlos Sainz is looking quite pacey, shall we say. But all these other cars, as far as I'm aware, are definitely pitting again, and we will see whereabouts George Russell ends up when they do. He could be in place to possibly lead the Grand Prix. Latifi has also got a chance here to do a bit of a job in helping us keep these cars behind and back them up to give George that chance to have that lead. That's what Latifi's job is now. He is going to pit this lap, I think. Yeah, we're pitting in this lap, and he's just going to have to try and take these softs to the end of the Grand Prix. It's never that simple, as we know. But he's going to try it, and that now means George Russell is our main aim. He's got Sergio Perez on softs behind, who will be aching to get past. Absolutely aching. He will have to pit again. George, hopefully, fingers crossed, will not have to pit again. Latifi will use his ERS now to try and get up close to Kimi Raikkonen. He will actually use it to get past Kimi Raikkonen. And now Leclerc and Perez are battling behind George, and the longer they stay behind George, the better, because they are going to have to pit again, whereas George isn't. I'm not saying he's going to be on for a race victory in our first ever race victory here, but this strategy certainly has put us in a position where we are going to be hopefully earning some decent points. The fact that we're 22 seconds behind Verstappen, though, probably means we aren't going to win the Grand Prix, unfortunately, which is a shame. And Russell here will get back past Checo, which is fantastic. And in fact, he's not only just got past Checo, he's close right up to Carlos Sainz. And now we're going to probably see the likes of Vettel, Hamilton. Verstappen is in the pits. So Verstappen in the pits. Has he come out behind? He has indeed. He's come out behind Russell. He's actually come out behind Latifi. Well. That opens things up. That opens things up really nice. Checo, once again, he's pitting this lap. He's been trying to absolutely ache to get past, and Verstappen is just flying, isn't he? He's closed up to Latifi so quickly. A couple of my parts are looking a bit rough, I know, George, but there is no other pit stop for us today. Sonoda is going to be going to the end, so us and Sonoda will definitely be battling it out here for race victory. Same with Ricciardo. Bottas should pit soon, Leclerc pit soon, Ocon should pit soon, Zhao should pit soon. Verstappen is 10 seconds behind. Latifi's in 8th. But Pierre Gasly's on super softs, and the cars that go on super softs could probably eat that gap up to Latifi. And right now, Russell inherits the lead of the Grand Prix. 7 laps to go. Let's speed this up. Bottas is going to get us, and Bottas reclaims the lead of the Grand Prix. He's absolutely flying on those super softs. And if we slow it down now, get that ERS on, boys. Latifi's in 6th. Latifi's in 6th here, boys. We are 2nd and 6th. And Ricciardo and Tsunoda's tyres are certainly looking a little more dogged than Russell's. They probably will have to pit before the end of the Grand Prix, I'm thinking. George, just drive smart. That's all we've got to do here. Verstappen is 7 seconds away. He's got 41% of his tyres left, as George. I'm a little worried about that. I won't lie. I'm a little worried. I don't know if George's tyres are going to last the distance here. I'm a little bit worried. Will George's tyres, like Ricciardo's pitting this lap, Ricciardo's tyres won't last. He will be pitting. Tsunoda, probably the same. He's got damaged parts. We're just going to have to speed this up for these last couple of laps. He should make it. Should George. He's going to get a 2nd place if he can make it to the end. Has Verstappen pitted again? No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. He's 4th. Or has he? Because he's 13 seconds behind all of a sudden. A lot of cars are really running low on their what's names, but George Russell, he's on the final lap of the race, and he's going to come through here, and George Russell has got a 2nd place finish, and Latifi has taken Checo on the final lap of the race. It's a 2nd and a 6th, boys. Welcome to Season 2. Welcome. I was disappointed when there wasn't 3-part qualifying. All of a sudden, we might be contenders for races. George Russell 2nd, Nicholas Latifi in 6th. That is an incredible race for us. They're going to check the cars, make sure there's no rules broken. There are no rules broken. Wow, 26 points to start the season for us. That ain't bad. That really ain't bad. There you go, George Russell. I believe last season we managed 3 2nd place finishes. 1 from George, 2 from Latifi. Well, George has one in the first race of this season. Absolutely incredible. There you go. In the constructors, we are 2nd with 26 points. I'm not saying we're going to be sitting here fighting for the constructors championship or anything, but what a race, what a result, what a start to the season, and we've just got to keep building on this. We've just got to keep building. Strap yourselves in. This is going to be one hell of a ride. And this season, we're fighting up the top. Brilliant drive from Latifi, can I just say. And it's 2.2 million that comes in there. So we're going to start saving up the money rather than having to improve the car. Unfortunately, we're going to have to save up the money because we have spent quite a lot trying to redevelop. We've got a new engine built, which will go into one of the cars, probably George's. It depends how good it is. It is the Italian Grand Prix next. I'll tell you something, if you've lasted this long in the video, you've got to drop a like for George and Nick's drive there. Absolutely fantastic. There's going to be plenty more of this content, so if you enjoy it, give us a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in Italy.